From the onset, Kamen Rider Valen starts off on a really strong narrative foundation. Hanto Karakita's got an obvious prejudice stemming from a traumatic background, and that gives him a motivation to fight the monstrous Granute. This has the potential to take him down some really dark paths, because he's unaware that not all Granute are bad. But this potentiality is also tempered by the fact that Hanto's also remarkably open-minded for a character of his type. Though his hatred is justified, and that often results in extreme emotional reactions, he's also prone to slowing down and mulling things over when presented with new information that runs contrary to his initial beliefs. And this results in a really dynamic character who starts out kind of playing opposite to the titular hero of the show, Kamen Rider Gavv. While Shoma sets out as a superhero to protect people, Hanto starts out on a revenge path. He wants to destroy the monsters that terrorize his town, unaware that there can even be good monsters. A bit of a problem, considering that Shoma is half Granute himself. The two end up working together through a mixture of half-truths and misunderstandings, and as more of these are revealed and resolved, Hanto's views begin aligning closer to Shoma's. It's a pretty standard main rider, secondary rider character setup. The main rider embodies the themes of their show, and their secondary tackles the same themes from a different angle or challenges them outright. What makes Hanto work exceedingly well on this front is that his character progression is continuous and gradual. A lot of writers tend to get a noticeably greater volume of character focus as the lead up to a power-up or the like, and while Hanto does get new forms as benchmarks to his character progression, his development doesn't slow down just because he isn't slated for another one in the coming episodes. One thing you might be able to leverage against Hanto is that he doesn't have the greatest battle record. In the first half of the show, the only solo victory that he scores is from his debut battle, and debut battles are often a narrative freebie anyway. But even this one isn't as easy a win as the formula normally dictates. Hanto is fresh off the operating table with his brand new set of bootleg back alley superpowers. And the result is arguably a greater showcase of the character than it is of the superhero, because Valen is obviously struggling and straggling, powering through the monster encounter through sheer grit, rage, and adrenaline. And then it just never gets easier for him. As soon as Valen enters the scene, the enemy faction starts upgrading their combatants, so right from the start of his superhero career, Hanto's a step behind everyone else. Gavv gets to keep up with the power scaling on account of being the main protagonist and all, but Valen's stuck punching way above his pay grade, so it's all the more admirable that he keeps at this at all, especially because Valen's not even self-sufficient as a superhero. The gochizos that the riders use to power their transformations are generally single-use, and while that's not an issue for Gavv, as Soma produces them naturally as a result of his inhuman physiology, that is a problem for the ostensibly augmented human Hanto. As a result, Hanto is outright reliant on Shoma to even be Valen. Valen does consistently perform better when he's fighting alongside Gavv, though. There's a real danger of this coming off like Gavv's doing the heavy lifting, but it doesn't because Gavv is also consistently performing better when he's working with Valen. Adding more riders to the cast can feel like a linear growth in combat capability on the protagonist's front, but in Gavv, their shared efficacy results in something more akin to an exponential hike instead. There's the obvious stuff that one might expect. Being able to divide their forces means that they can cover more ground and save more people as a result, but the Gavv series goes a step further. Their first showcase as a duo has the pair back-to-back, covering each other's blind spots, and a few episodes down the line, once they get to know each other better, literally, this is the point after they learn each other's secret identities, Valen starts making up for Gavv's weaknesses too. Like how Gavv's potato chip swords are sharp but brittle? A quick chocolate coating will give them the durability that they need. Or how about Gavv's mecha-inspired form being powerful but obviously unwieldy and immobile? That's fine too. Valen's got the mobility to make up for those drawbacks, and his donut form can restrain enemies such that they're easier targets to boot. The synergy between Gavv and Valen, growing in parallel with Soma and Hanto's burgeoning dynamic, is one of the best parts of the Kamen Rider Gavv series. And by association, that also makes Valen one of my favorite secondary riders of the franchise. A pretty sweet deal, all told.